When this father came home from work, he was shocked to see his daughter eating just a loaf of bread on the front porch. The daughter ran up to her father and tearfully said, "Daddy, I don't want to live here anymore." The father was confused and asked her why. The daughter replied, "Because your girlfriend hates me and only loves her son." Filled with anger, the father quietly opened the door and saw his girlfriend giving her son a fresh plate of food in the kitchen. However, the son grabbed the plate of food, and as he ran towards the door, he saw the father and the daughter. The girlfriend yelled, "Hey, where are you going?" She was then shocked to see her boyfriend. The son told the father that he was planning on giving his plate of food to the daughter. The father smiled, but the girlfriend interrupted. "Oh, hey babe, I didn't know you were home so early today." She turned to her son and said, "Lucas, where were you running off to with your food? Go back in the kitchen." The father said, "No, let him stand here." He turned to the boy, "Lucas, can you tell us what you were going to do?" The son walked up to the daughter and gave her the plate of food, saying, "I was going to give my food to my friend because she was only eating a loaf of bread." The girlfriend was furious, so she took away the plate of food from the daughter and said to her son, "You shouldn't be doing that. Why are you copying that brat? Never give food to other people or I'll punish you like how I did to Lily and make you sit outside with a loaf of bread." The father said to his girlfriend, "Wait, did you punish my daughter because she was being kind and gave food to someone? Ha! You think that's being kind? I took the kids to the mall, and your daughter gave her food, which I bought with my money, to a grandma who forgot her money at home. I took back the food and told your daughter not to waste my money on a stinking old person." The daughter cried and apologized to her father, but the father reassured her, "No need to apologize, sweetie. What you did was the right thing, and you're so brave for that. I'm very proud of you." The girlfriend laughed and rolled her eyes in a conceited manner. "Brave? Really? Teach your daughter not to be selfish and to obey their elders because—" "Shut up! You know what's selfish? You're a wicked and selfish woman who only cares about yourself. I'll not let you teach my daughter to be selfish. Only kindness is allowed in my house. If you don't agree, then walk away and leave." As the girlfriend grabbed her son to leave, the boy yanked away her hand and ran into the arms of the father and said, "Can I stay with you, Mr. Thompson? I'm scared of my mom. You're so much nicer than her." The girlfriend was in disbelief. She coldly ignored her son and left the house. Drop a heart if parents should teach their kids how to be kind, not selfish. As soon as this boy got out of his mother's car, he walked over to a trash can and threw away the lunch she had made for him. During lunchtime, the boy would rather eat an apple than get embarrassed and mocked by his friends for eating his mother's lunch, calling him a mama's boy or a little baby. Every day he'd come home with an empty stomach and ask his mother, "Mom, I'm hungry. Do we have something to eat?" His mother always says, "In a few minutes, okay, sweetie? But how was the lunch I made for you? I always pack a lot of food so you wouldn't get hungry." The boy would take out the empty container and lie to his mother. "See, I always eat all the food you packed for me, even the fruits, but I don't know why I'm still hungry." The mother would always get shocked, but also accepted that her son was growing pretty fast. As each day passed, she'd add bigger portions for lunch so her son wouldn't get hungry. However, she felt a little suspicious when he kept coming home and was still hungry, tired, and always asked for something to eat. She also noticed that the food container contained no traces of leftovers, always showed the same streak pattern like the food had just slid off, and the utensil and napkin looked like they were never used. One day, after the boy dumped all the food in the trash, the mother walked inside the school and looked through all the trash cans, including the restrooms. Unfortunately, she couldn't find any food. She figured that it could be in the boy's restroom, so she asked the janitor to look. The janitor was surprised and said, "Every morning I clean the restrooms and I always see food in the trash. There is probably food in there right now." He went to check and was not surprised to see food inside. He showed the trash can to the mother and she was shocked. Tears filled her eyes as she whispered, "Why would he do this? The food I packed for him to eat was made with all the care and love I have for him, but he throws them all away." She walked out with tears. However, that same day she was so emotional that she accidentally ran a red light and she was struck by another vehicle. She passed away. When the boy found out that his mother was gone and the reason why she died, his heart was broken into pieces and his world collapsed. In his mother's room, he discovered a journal of all the sacrifices she made, even working 2 jobs just enough to afford making food for him to eat at school. The only thing he wished was to see his mother and eat the food she cooked one last time, but he had to live his whole life regretting that he didn't give her the love she deserved. Drop a heart if we should never take our parents' love for granted. This boy was eating with his mother when he suddenly remembered there was a student in his class whose parents couldn't afford to buy him new clothes. He asked his mother if they could buy some clothes. At a clothing store, he took so many clothes that his mother scolded him. "You already have so many clothes. Put some back because I'll not pay for all of that." The next morning, the mother packed a lunch for her son and saw the same clothes she had bought for him in his backpack. She was confused, so she asked him about the new clothes in his backpack. The boy nervously said, "Oh, they're a gift for my friend. His family is poor and they couldn't afford to buy him clothes." The mother was deeply touched. "Why didn't you just tell me that? I would have paid for all the clothes." The boy was ashamed for not telling the truth, but was happy his mother was proud of him. When the boy got to school, he saw the student getting off the bus, wearing the same clothes he had worn last week. Other kids around bullied and laughed at him, but the boy approached him and took out the new clothes and said, "I bought these for you. I know it's not much because I didn't want to let my mom know I was giving them away." That moment was the happiest moment the student had felt. Throughout the school year, the boy gave him extra clothes and sometimes food, and always sat and talked with him during lunch. A couple of years later, the boy was hit by a drunk driver on his way to college. He couldn't make it and passed away in the hospital. The mother fell into a depression. Eventually, she also lost her job, her home, and was forced to spend her last few dollars on food at the store to live on the street. She panicked as she didn't have enough to pay for everything. Suddenly, a photo of herself and her her son dropped to the ground. A young man picked it up. As he looked at it, he